because now we got light shining through these tunnels. Guess what? We got plants growing.
Oh, I see.
So when you place plants, make sure that they have a source of light. We're breaking down what makes Metro such a good game in terms of environment. So we are looking at all those little things in the environment that they did that can help you understand how to bring your environment to the next level. The door placement and all these other props are placed right on the rule of third around this part here. That is where the sub lockers and things are. And then this door, which looks like you can interact with since it has this wheel here. Usually doors that you cannot interact with doesn't have a lot of leading lines because the corridor automatically create this 1 point perspective, move the eye forward and give us a sense of movement of the scene and directionality. You can place elements that are like hanging on top of you. It's really cool because it creates that sense of depth, and when you move throughout the space you get a sense of parallax, which is really cool. Plaster of this wall here is kind of gone, and you can see on the floor there is the storytelling that shows that that plaster fell on the floor. We got this colorful part of the wall to help break it a bit more. Yeah, overall I think it's really cool. I also really like the storytelling of the plot. I think we got plot here, we got plot there, we got plot there, and there's like a guy here that is doing something, and there's probably this little hole here which I don't want to know what is that for, but maybe it's that for the plot. And you can tell there's some sort of directionality to the thing, not just like random thing. So probably there's like a connection. Maybe that guy was here somewhere and then he moved somewhere else, which is really cool.
Do you find more challenging making an indoor or an outdoor environment usually?
I think it's more challenging to make an outdoor environment because when you are indoor, you can literally channel the player wherever you want because you have walls that you can place, and you know that's already a very good way to lead the player. So outdoor POIs is much more difficult because players can get to that location in many different areas. It can have distracting things. Also in an indoor, usually we have, if you're making an open world game, usually you have much more budget in terms of how many assets you can use and etc. So I think the indoor are kind of more fun because you can push that sense of that like narrative layer to the storytelling, to the way you place assets and to the amount of assets you place that often you can't do in the open world. How there's this area of interest which is fairly lit from the fire, from the campfire that is there. You can see how that somehow lies around one of the intersection, which is like around here. Can cut even more the rule of third of that remaining third there, and you can see how the guy here is also on the other third. And then lastly we got this door which is right in front of us. When you're putting missing tiles, you always try to add broken tiles. This is like a really good way to add that level of storytelling. It looks a bit improvised, but maybe it's not, maybe it's part of the infrastructure, but this element here is really nice to integrate this whole scene here. So the fire is like, you know, the smoke is going through there, and it's all nicely connected from a logic point of view. Connecting things from a logic point of view will make your environment looks more believable and makes more sense of it. Got this spawning location here, and you got enemies coming out. You can see already the silhouette coming out, and you can see that because they put a light like behind there, and that light is casting this sort of sharp effect which makes the silhouette of the creature more visible. This like electric panel, and like in general like this, it's all nicely connected together, right? So there is like a logic in terms of probably here they go like inside the hole, and they probably this cable goes up and this one continues like in this direction. The logic connects everything together. Try to add logic to how you place assets. So you can see, so the cable is a good example. And again, if we want to show another Another good example of the logic is about the post-apocalyptic world. I don't know in which year, but like we are probably in a dark future where things happened, and the brandings really helps to create that sense of connection between our world, the one that we're living in, and the world of the game. Having contrast on the roughness of your material. So in this case, I think we got this, water dripping down or something, which is creating this nice reflection. And definitely add that, either that or like puddles on the floor. Or like if you do that, though, don't forget to add a source of light or something to get those sorts of details, because those details here are only visible because there is this light here that is like bouncing there and then it's coming towards you. And in general, every door that just blocks an entrance or you can interact with doesn't have handles, because we want to visually tell the players that they cannot go to the entrance. Either you remove the handles or you place some props in front of it to show it visually from the distance that that's no entry point for gun things. And then you got this tool here, which is probably used to create some improvised gun. And then on the other side you got these ammo things hanging around. Ammo here, more guns there. Yeah, you can see how things are not everywhere. The ammo are sort of here on this side of the screen mainly, and how the gun are on this side of the screen. So you can see gun on this side, ammo on this side, and there is like something mixed to have them blended. So you got one element here for the ammo, and then one element here for the gun, and one element here for the ammo, and it helps to connect things. I think that's really good things to do, not just place everything everywhere, but instead try to create a thematic area also within the little area, like in this case.
How does the narrative of the game influence your work?
Well, the narrative of the games is, let's say, the pilot of my work. Like the environment basically is storytelling. So you want to have that narrative to make it connected to the game and to make it more interesting or things, rather than making an environment that is just looking nice but doesn't give you a story behind. So in my opinion, narrative is very important, and to me I see narrative as a map. So you use a map to go from a location A to location B, and narrative is basically the map that we have when we're making environment. So if we have that, I know exactly what I need to achieve. Without that, you can get to a point and then you get a lot of iteration on it because no one knows where we want to get. Where if you have a solid narrative and a solid plan behind it before you start the environment, it's very easy to achieve right at the beginning what you want to achieve. When we say dog leg, it means that you don't go straight from whatever other room you are. So you're going there, because we can unload things, we can do things, and also if we are here looking at that, all the things here will be visible, so we don't want that. But instead, we want to make some sort of zigzag kind of thing. So in that case, I think you did something like that.
Yeah.
And there was like a door here and a door here, and then that was, I think, the end of the room. And here there was the guy stopping you from going inside there, if I remember correctly, and whatever it is. Yeah. So in this case, if you're here looking at that, you can only see like this part, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't see what's inside, which is expensive. The lights behind makes these details pops out more. You can see how without the light you wouldn't have been able to see those details, because now we got light shining through these tunnels. Guess what? We got plants growing.
Oh, I see.
Right? Plants grow with lights. So when you place plants, make sure that they have a source of light. If you place the lights, creates an interesting atmospheric thing, but it's also creating logic with why there is overgrown and grass in this tunnel, which is underground location. It's a market or something, and you can see all the assets here. So like all this carpet, the carpet there. I am highlighting this because it's very important when you create places that has different thematics to solidify the thematics in single places and not have everything everywhere, but try to have all the pillows and the house and the carpet thing in one location, all the food and the meat and things in one location, or like the boxes and the crates in the storage location, or the ammo and weapon in the armory location, instead of everything everywhere. Creates variation within the space that you are playing, and it's also helps the player exploration to figure out all this little thing and go around and check things rather than have everything everywhere.